bit of deja vu with the title on this video here now, and I'll tell you why. It's because we unfortunately made almost the exact same video a year and a half ago. Now, the hope is that the end result and the conclusion that we come to in this video will be different than the last one. If you remember, last year I got into a crash with my old E36 chassis and we deemed it totaled. Now, a lot of people said this chassis was totaled after my wreck in Long Beach.
Look, Adam LZ, that Drift HQ. BMW, remember, he's fighting for second. Oh!
The damage optically looks a lot less worse than the last car, so fingers crossed as we start to take things apart and inspect. This is something that's salvageable, so we don't need to build a new car from the ground up. Now, on the off chance that there's some people that are watching this video that don't fully understand drifting, I'm not talking down to you in a derogatory way, but I actually want to shed a little bit of information around the crash. I had some friends, even family, reach out to me that aren't like really avid drift watchers, and they're like, man, what happened? Was something wrong with the track? Did the car break? Blah, blah, blah. Unfortunately, not so much in the other scenario. That was a little bit different story. But in this scenario, it's a product of drifting and what we're asked to do as drivers. You gotta imagine, we're coming to in a corner, I don't know, maybe 70 miles an hour, and we're expected to be within inches of a particular area on track. Now, if you overcook, and let's say you go a couple inches too far and you're already on the ragged edge, not only are you going to crash into something, which then could pull you into something else, in most tracks and most scenarios of the pro level, if you're offline, it's not only that you might crash into something, but your traction also becomes way less because you get into marbles and you get into an area on track where there isn't rubber laid down, which means it's slippy, and when you slippy, oh! Sometimes you crashy. I'm not saying that I didn't make any mistakes, but it's a normal thing. It comes with the sport. And quite frankly, I'm happy that it happened at the end of the season. We still had a good finish, finishing 5th in points for the year. I'm proud of the team. I'm proud of the car and all the strides that we made. Do we want a championship? Yes, sirree, Bob. And Bob, I'm hoping that we can make it happen next year.
Bob, we're talking to you, Bob.
Yeah, Bob is also the previous owner of the compound. We like to think that Bob is looking down on all of us smiling.
Spirit animal.
Bob was literally doing almost the same exact thing that we were doing when he owned this place, just with more classic cars. He had a race team with stock cars. I'm sure he won everything. All his cars were of the highest paint quality. He was winning every shows. Bob was living life, and we're trying to be like Bob.
I want this car back to what it used to be so I can test different engine packages, intercoolers, everything to get the Charger temp cooler, turbo manifolds, turbos, just get the new package ready for FD next year. But we need to fix it because right now it doesn't really work as good as it used to from the Long Beach crash. So on the underside, we'll start in the back, some cosmetics up there.
He's missing some things.
This bash bar has seen better days, but the main structure is okay, but the bash bar is totaled, which is normal. This is probably our 7th bash bar we ate through this year. The trailing arm, which I call the banana, is bent. There's that. These spacers were lost. The brake caliper looks like it
it snapped.
broke an ear. The rotor is actually warped over here in a pile. That's pretty sick.
Hell yeah, dude.
Obviously that wheel took a hit, so that wheel is done. Axle boot, not too bad. Axle seems okay. This is a good one. I think the engine shifted and put the drive shaft into the trans tunnel.
Up in the pocket.
Yeah, because this never does this. So that's new. I just saw that right before we got right on the camera. Up here, it bent a shock. It folded the old control arm. This is the spare. That's about all I can see. I know like the frame rail is bent. The radiator fan's touching the belt. The intercooler pipe is tacoed. Looks like the oil pan is dented into the subframe there. So things definitely moved around a good bit, but the drive shaft is actively hitting, so something is way off. But that's about it underneath. Everything on that side of the car seems fine. It's just this corner is the worst. Got the worst of it. These cars are kind of like tin cans.
We found that out a little bit.
But not bad, not great. All right, so this cosmetic. Maybe the back window has definitely seen better days. I think this panel popped out, which is like the rear firewall. So we'll kind of reinforce it, reseal it again. Body's okay until you get to the front. Fender is hammered. Yeah, headlight's gone. Hood actually survived pretty decent. It did break the hood pin here, which is interesting. OEM crash bar is gone. Air filter is gone. The strut tower moved enough to come in contact with the turbo elbow, which broke the welds. This whole corner shifted probably that way and back just a little bit. Not fun. Not fun, not fun. This car used to actually align so good that like I would put the top hats in the same spots and the camber was like 0.2 off left to right and I would just let it go. But now that's probably never gonna happen again.
Probably not. Did the damage stop at the firewall? Did it go further into the car?
Yeah, I don't think it went further inward because the lollipop mount actually looks good,
Okay.
which is like a blessing in disguise because that sucks to fix. There was some smoke coming out of the bay, so maybe the radiator has a hairline crack. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I'm gonna start just kind of tearing down. Actually, I want to fix the back half because that's real easy. Put a brake caliper in, which I think Adam broke all the spare calipers. So I may just put it out one bolt so that way if someone pulls the brake, it doesn't shoot the pad out. I think he used all the bananas, so maybe leave the toed out one for now. Just get that rolling and then I'll focus on tearing the front half apart and we can see a bit deeper if it's fine.
I want to take a break to say it's been really cool to see all your guys' entries towards the Neft vodka giveaway car. And if you haven't seen the video or the content where I talk about how you can have a chance to win this thing, there is no purchase necessary. You basically take 90 seconds, show off your driving skills on a sim, and also talking about why you think you're the future of drift. Upload that video to YouTube just like this format, and then post it on the futureofdrift.com website. And you could get entered for a chance to win this car and get flown out to Apple Valley to get some 101 drift instruction and much more. I've been enjoying watching your guys' entries. There's already over 100 and I'm expecting a lot more to come. I'm sure some of you guys are taking your time with it. But the contest ends January 1st, so don't wait too long. Also, I completely neglected to note that in addition to the car, if that wasn't enough, you also get this super sick, fully custom taxi garage crazy car built to match the car. I haven't gotten a chance to try this out yet. I was instructed that I'm allowed to try it, but I was also asked to keep it in one piece, seeing as I have a history with crashing crazy carts into things quite often. So we'll go play with this thing a little bit later. We got a lot of other stuff to do. All right, I may be completely off in saying this, but I like to think that people like my analogies. I have a lot of ridiculous analogies. Here's one for you, right? Some people in life, when they have insecurities, they like to make fun of themselves before someone else gets the chance to do it. That's something I do. I think I do it in videos a lot. I try to like make fun of myself before you guys have a chance to in the comments, or I encourage it because I think it's funny and like frankly engagement is beneficial. I also do the same thing with my cars. Anything that I'm insecure about, any angle or thing that I think is really ugly, I show you guys and I point it out so that way you guys can't point it out before me.
It's giving me 8 Mile vibes with the Eminem rap battle.
Oh, because Eminem did that in his rap.
He did that,
Yeah,
yeah.
if you talk then your enemies can't talk about you.
Exactly.
You know, I'll tell you everything that I hate. One thing that I hate on this giveaway car right here, this is not LZ spec,
No.
all right? But in the spirit of an LZ build on the G80 giveaway car, we can't just replace this with another stock piece. We gotta go spicier. So we're gonna see what I can muster up out of my shipping department. Now, there are a lot of options on the G80 market. I like to honor the source, and I remember in the early days of the G80 game, Vorsteiner was one of the first companies to come out with some of the best stuff for the G80. So we went ahead and got a front lip from them. Boom. One thing to highlight that's definitely different than a lot of options in the market, full carbon fiber all through and through, no fiberglass with just a carbon fiber overlay. Very nice piece, even a nice little badge there. I feel like it makes it look expansive. Another thing you can look for too, in some carbon fiber parts that are a little bit cheaper or made poorly, they'll hide a lot of the imperfections in the weave by like painting like black lines on the ridges. I'm not a carbon fiber expert, so I can't explain necessarily why they do it, but I've noticed on some of the lower end stuff that I bought for cars before, you'll see like a lot of like black shading around certain places. Well, unfortunately, we're doing that whole Unfortunately, we're doing the whole rabbit hole thing again, where it becomes a, well, while we're in there type ordeal. I decided I'm removing the whole front bumper, and I'll show you why. And that's partially because I said, why not do some upgraded kidney grills in Cabron Fiebre? Look at that. And same deal, check it out. Legit, no junk here. It's gonna spice this front end up a lot. I'm actually happy we're doing this too, because now looking at the back of this bumper, the mesh was being held on by like hot glue. So I'm stoked that that's not gonna be a thing anymore. You know what's funny enough? This is actually a Vorsteiner grill too. This is just the ABS version, and now she's getting the carbon version. Definitely saving some weight with this, that's for sure.
What do you
It's a
think?
good upgrade. I think it's gonna tie in with the front lip nice.
Yeah.
I think it'd be weird if I left the old lip, but I think carbon, will look good together. This 3HB is crazy. I've never worked with such sticky double-sided adhesive before. This lift is never coming off. Where it gets scary. I've never done the 3M tape method like this. Oh, I don't know if I can speak too much knowledgeably, but let's see if it works how it's supposed to. I'm a little mad at myself. I feel like I could have put the tape a little bit farther in, but I don't think anyone will ever notice except for all the people watching this video right now. I like to give credit where it's due, and I actually forgot to even mention that I think Vorsteiner is the only company that made me start to like G80s. Because before, when they had those like stock grills that they came with, Mike will put a clip on the screen, wasn't a fan. Once the grills got changed, I feel like it did a lot for the car.
Yeah.
I think there's even a bumper that they make that makes the car look even better, but this is pretty freaking sick. It's also been a while since I've worked on a new BMW. I gotta say, I really appreciate how easy they make it to work on the car. I'm not saying that sarcastically either. Everything just kind of goes together nice. Like all the push pins, everything. I'm used to working on so many like old crusty cars where like everything's rusty, falling apart. The service manuals are in Japanese. Surprisingly, no like really comprehensive DIYs. I miss the days of the forums. I don't like watching YouTube videos on how to do stuff because I just fast forward through because I'm impatient. I like scrolling through, and like these cars now are like past the age of forums, which kind of makes me sad. Well, in the time that it took me to install a front lip, Freddie pretty much disassembled the whole front end of the FD car. I'm hopeful that you didn't find anything new. What did you find?
It's not that bad.
Okay.
For how bad it was, it's not that bad.
When it happened, Freddie thought it was the end.
Oh, it was the end of that day.
Yeah.
Right? Like I was like, we're not fixing that in 5, 10, or even
I knew
30
that.
minutes. Yeah.
Once I saw the radiator smoke, which is, you know, something that Freddie and I were just talking about, is it sucks, but an impact like that shows us the things that are the most vulnerable. We knew that the radiator was a vulnerability, being front radiator, but seeing what touched what and how it touched kind of tells us now how to create space so that they don't touch again.
Yep. So you didn't actually puncture a hole in the radiator. I think that was the overflow tank,
Oh.
like coolant overflow tank. Just
Cool.
Yeah.
So we can reuse that?
The radiator, that will become the spare. Like,
Okay.
you know.
Or we can put it in the old car.
Exactly. The intercooler has a hole in it, but it's using the factory crash support, which is cut loosely, so I could see that happening. But it is nice because those are off-the-shelf BMW parts, so they're like real easy to replace.
Yep.
It's not that bad.
Engine looks okay. So one thing that we had when we had a front impact before, we actually wound up breaking a crank, and we didn't realize it until later down the road. I had a collision, and I think it slightly bent the crank, and then later, like the next event or two, the crank broke. It looks mint. No contact?
Nah, no contact.
Okay, sick.
The fan was rubbing the belt a little bit, but nothing crazy there.
Cool, so my engine is good.
Yeah, engine's fine. Subframe's a little bent because the steering rack is lopsided. The sway bar kind of shifted some, but I think the biggest thing is like this moved a couple inches that way.
The
So
strut
if the strut tower goes back in its home, everything else is easy work.
I know a lot of the motorsport guys that watch our channel always ask, why don't we brace the strut tower to the firewall? And let me tell you, all of us wish we could. There's a rule from the Formula Drift rulebook that doesn't allow us to do any sort of bracing behind the strut tower. I don't know why. Do you know why? What the purpose of it is?
I don't know. I think they want something to take the impact so it's less on the driver in a bad collision.
Okay.
But you're so locked in there. There's other forms of motorsport where you're in a much faster scenario. Rally, where you're allowed to do that and people don't die or get severely injured in that. So I'm kind of annoyed because this car is a tin can. It's not like it's a Mustang where you can like T-bone someone and your whole front end's fine. This thing, you get in a small bump and things move around, you know?
Yeah.
Another thing that people like to ask about is a strut tower brace. And I actually just was talking with Chelsea about this. It's a double-edged sword because if you have a strut brace that's strong enough to prevent something like this from happening, you're probably going to bend the other side too. So now instead of having just isolated damage, you now have two corners of the car that are damaged. And then if you have one that's soft enough to not do that, what's the point?
It's not worth it.
Yeah. Is that your feeling? What's
I'm
your
50-50 on it. I would run one if this was my car, but I'd run like a weaker one out of aluminum where like it would soften the hit and then it would bend to not transfer the load. So
Well-
it would do some, but not like end all be all.
Well, remember, you're the crew chief.
Yeah.
So if you want to do that, we do that. Freddie has
I have
ultimate
bigger
say.
plans.
Look, as long as we make it look cool, I'm happy.
Yeah.
That's really the only say that I get. As long as I like how the car drives and it looks cool.
Yeah. And he's in charge of the looks department. That's not my problem. So if you don't like the way it looks, his fault.
If you don't like the way it drives,
It's also his fault.
yeah.
It's the pile of things that are broken.
I should add, I do plan on doing some sort of special thing with the massive library of broken E36 parts I've accumulated over the years. It's gonna take a little while to round them all up because they're scattered all across, but I'll do something special with it at some point, so stay tuned for that. I mean, the biggest thing is, like, safe to say, not totaled.
Not totaled.
So here's the thing, Freddie gave me a deadline. He said, I want the car fixed by January 5th. And I spoke to Reed the homie. He doesn't live very close. So we had a plan with Reed, and I actually bought a frame machine. His plan was to come down and teach the boys down here how to use it, so when we were in a bind, or if we needed to do things like pull from the rockers, we could do it here instead of having to cut and weld stuff from other cars or bring the car all the way up to him. But stoked for Reed. Reed is very, very, very busy, so he's not gonna be able to come down anytime soon. And I made the call that I would actually rather have Reed use his equipment that he's more comfortable with for this car, since it is very important to be as perfect as possible. So we're gonna bring the car up to him next week. He's gonna do it up there, and then the car will come back down where we can reassemble and start testing during the off season. Now, we do have a frame machine, so he's gonna be coming down at some point and teach the guys, but maybe we'll fix something less important like the CRX, or fix rocker dents rather than pull a strut tower for the first time we use a new machine. I know some of the stuff is like kind of like off the record, right? We don't want other teams to know, but like, can you give the guys watching this, and girls, I know there's a few of you, any sort of like sneak peek or understanding of what we'll be testing during the off season?
The biggest thing is gonna be a massive PWR intercooler. I had a few meetings with them, and I told them I need the biggest heat sink we can fit in the front of this car. It's a double-edged sword because less air will get to the radiator, but if the air temps are 100 degrees less, it's already gonna benefit in many ways than other. Bigger throttle body, because that's a 65mm throttle body, and there's a 3 PSI delta between the charge pipe and the manifold. So that's free horsepower. Well, you know, a couple $100 for the throttle body and fitting it on the stock plenum. I may do a wet shot of nitrous just to help get some fuel in the plenum to cool down the charge air. New engine with more stroke, maybe bigger camshaft.
Did you talk at all about that in Jay's video?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, so Jay just uploaded the most amazing breakdown with Freddie of last year's FD engine, which was a bad. So I'm gonna put a link in the description to go check that out. It's super cool video, and that will also give you a little bit of sneak peeks at what's coming. But we want to know what you guys want to see, because you know, we can go super in detail on this stuff. We can graze over it. We can include it. We can not include it. It's gonna happen because we're taking this seriously, as we have been. But as to what we film, we don't really ever know what you guys want unless you tell us.
I think that's it. I'm leaving like the same weight distribution, same ride height, same tire.
It's great.
Huh?
It's great, so I
Yeah,
wouldn't change
like
it.
the car worked. He could have won a championship in this car, but he zigged when he should have zagged.
It happens, man.
It happens, man.
You pizza when you should have French fried.
Yeah,
If I was perfect, you wouldn't like me.
exactly.
That'd be annoying.
I'd be like, this guy's annoying.
He likes a challenge. He's a tuner. He likes taking engines that don't run good and making them run good. If I was a great driver, Freddie'd be bored already. Right?
But we're happy with this.
Yeah.
We do have FDF making us a trailing arm that mimics the stock M3 trailing arm. Just easier to replace, easier to get replacements. And we can have 6 of them in the trailer versus buying them on, you know, off marketplace, putting in bearings.
Oh,
and then
that
if they're
takes a
bent,
while.
we put them on, they're bent. You know, we don't have a jig, we gotta make a jig.
We have so many bent E36 M3 trailing arms. Like, I almost want to just like bend a car so that way we can use all the bent trailing arms so that way it works. They're expensive.
Yeah.
How much do E36 M3 trailing arms go for nowadays?
I don't know, $1,000 or something? I'm guessing, I don't know.
A lot.
It's all the parts orders out there now.
Yeah, I can't give those away with orders because they're heavy.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Maybe clean up the engine bay a little bit better.
I'm happy. I got no complaints.
No
So,
blitzes, too heavy.
Let us know what you guys want to see. Let us know what you want to see from the car in the next season. I'm off to PRI. I got to go meet the big block out there and get that thing all ready to go so you guys can come check it out if you're coming to PRI. And thanks for watching.
We never like winning this way. None of these drivers do, but I know for sure the Shanahans, there's no pride in winning like this. Jack's like, I'll take it. No, I mean,
That was independent.
it was independent. Adam, I mean, just not able to find the dig out of the hole, so he gets the car sideways, gets on throttle. He's on throttle fairly early, but the car just does not want to have the forward bite, and him wanting to fill all of outside zone 2.